junkyard.
What up, kids and kidettes? Actually, I just stared into a light bulb that was really bright, so all I'm seeing are spots right now. So hopefully this goes well. But in this video, I'm going to go over how to cut a lexan body and get it ready for paint. I'm not a pro. I'm just your average, everyday RC junkyard nutball, like some of you. But I'm going to show you the easiest way I know how to cut out a lexan body and get it ready for paint. And remember, there's a protective film on the outside of the body. Do not peel that until you are ready to put that thing on and drive. So let's go over a few things first, and then we'll get to cutting. All right, so you have your body and you are ready to go, right? In this case, we have a cliffhanger type body. I'm not really sure where I picked this thing up from or what part of China it came from, but there should be a protective film on the outside, and there's actually a protective film on the inside. So I already cut out the one tire over here. I wanted to have it prepped and ready to show you. But what you're going to want to do is, I like an X-Acto knife kind of like this. And I take myself a pair of scissors like these. And they make really nice surgical type scissors and good scissors for lexan. And these scissors are actually garbage, but they're going to work. So what I do is I take this knife and I trim along that body line there that you see. There's a nice little ridge. Take your finger and you feel it. No matter what body you have, there'll be a line somewhere. And it follows all the way down to the bottom and all the way up to the ridge line. What you're going to want to do is separate this body into quadrants. So my first quadrant would be the wheel well here. So I'm going to score, just run that razor blade right along here. I've used a utility knife, a really sharp knife, whatever you got, razor blade, and run this along here and stop at the corner. Run it along here, stop at the front bumper. Score down to the bottom, score down to the bottom. Now you're going to want to, before you go any further after that, cut this piece off here. Get this out of your way. You can go all the way around and get that out of your way if you want, because your actual body line is up here and the excess is down below here. So we're going to cut this off. You're going to score this. Once the top is scored and this bottom part's off, you're going to take and score a line down. Score a line down. Make thin lines like about that width. Down, 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 down to the bottom, okay? And once you do that, what you're going to do next are take your scissors and you're going to cut up that line right to the score mark. Cut up that line right to the score mark, and so on until you get to the end here, okay? This will be cut off. This will be cut off. You'll just be working with this piece here. Once you cut up the line, you're going to now want to take that piece that's been cut and separated and bend back and forth and back and forth, and it will snap off. It'll snap a nice, as long as you cut clean. Now, I'm not the best cutter in the world here either myself. Sorry, my light is probably right in your faces here. It is what it is. I'm not the best at cutting straight lines, to be perfectly honest, but I'm going to give you what I call good enough for me moves. And unless you're entering some kind of a truck show, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But you're going to score the line, break those pieces off, and they're going to snap away nicely and give you a nice clean line to work with. Once you get this wheel well cut out, you move on down to here and cut this line off, stop at this corner. Really, you should be able to just bend that back and forth, this piece here, and take the whole thing off. So what I'm going to do first is cut this off. I'm going to score this out, score lines just like I told you I was going to, cut it with the scissors and break it off. Now I'm going to time lapse this part so you can just kind of get the feel of it, and we'll go from there.
Run it, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah.
So I don't know why they decided to put the plastic on the inside, but that is really not helpful when you're cutting. So that's what you're seeing here is plastic, and this line needs cleaned up just a hair because I am not the best cutter. Don't cut straight sober goods. But yeah, that's how you do it, and you just tackle each piece at a time. And usually your wrap is on the outside. Your plastic wrap to protect the body's on the outside, not on the inside, like so. So it's usually easier to pull away too, because you've already scored the outside of it when you went along here, and the plastic pulls away really nicely. But in this case, with this generic body I bought, everything's on the inside. So that should give you a good idea of how to score the body here. I'll put it in a time warp here and finish the rest of it off so you can see it done. And if you have any questions, drop a comment. Like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated.
Run it, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been better. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed heavy, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get an NFT to get them when they're in hand and crypto, learn how to.
Here you have it, kids. It's all cut out. I don't know if you could tell from the time-lapse video, but I mean, this looks really bad with that film underneath. It's probably the last time I'll buy an off-brand body that really looks like a Proline cliffhanger from China. Anyways, I don't know if you could tell in the time lapse, but sometimes when you get to the corners where everything meets up, it's harder to break those tabs off. Sometimes you got to go back and rescore, especially if you didn't cut deep enough, and that's no problem. Just take your time. In the video, you've probably seen me take that razor sharp X-Acto knife and cut towards myself. Do not do that. Do not emulate me in any way. I am a moron, and yeah, I never claim to be anything less than that. Now, normally, with the film on top, you would be able to set this on a chassis you want to mount it on. You'd have your body mounts showing, and you could take a nice marker and draw anywhere on here because there'd be a nice protective film that you're going to peel off anyways. Not the case with this one. So, but normally, once you got to this point, your pre-paint, you want to get it set up and ready to cut out any body mounts, any body mount holes, or if you're going to set it directly on the chassis, you want to cut the rails out. So you'll be able to set this right on your truck, car, whatever you're putting it on, and you'll be able to see everything underneath and how this is going to sit on the body mounts. And on this, usually your body mounts are going to come somewhere in there. Set it on there. Like I said, you're going to have a film on here that you have not peeled off. It's not going to be underneath because you're going to order a real body, unlike me, Pinocchio. Take yourself a little Sharpie, mark your spots for your body mounts, and use a reamer or whatever you're going to use to do those out. Now this, I cut out. I'm going to put on a low center of gravity project I'm working on. It's a low budget build, so I'm going to leave it like this because I'm probably going to cut these fenders out much higher. I don't know yet, so I'm not going to go any further, but I figured since I was cutting this body up anyways, I would show you all how I do it. Let me know if it works for you. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment on what body you're going to be working on next.
RC Junkyard.